Hello everyone, Pavan here. I'm back with another episode of Gardening on Nandanavanam. As promised in my earlier video on Totakura, here I am bringing to you all the journey of Bachalikura as it's known in my native language. It's also known as Malabar Spinach. If you're here for the first time, welcome to my channel. My name is Pavan and I love to garden. As I garden, I make these episodes to help out aspiring gardeners take advantage of my experiences. Please subscribe to the channel to learn great gardening tips, watch interesting harvest videos, and yum recipes with homegrown food. As I shared earlier, I'm fond of green leafy vegetables like totakura, bachalikura, and many other leafy veggies that I've eaten growing up in India. One thing I've heard unanimously is that green leafy veggies are packed with all sorts of nutrition and are especially meant to be the best companion for your eyes and gut. I rarely find good quality and fresh greens at the grocery stores in my part of the US in Seattle. So the only resort is to grow them fresh. So let's get started. Last year during lockdown, in a conversation with one of my friends, she reminded me of Bachalikura and that she was able to successfully grow them from store-bought stems. I could not find these veggies in Seattle stores, so I searched up online and at Lowe's, Home Depot, and could finally find some seed on Amazon. I shall leave a link to it in the description box. One, I've took a while to figure out where to get the seed and order them. Two, the order took forever to arrive. Three, I have no idea if Malabar spinach would even grow in Seattle conditions or what the right time to plant them is. Anyway, like I always do with gardening, I took a leap of faith and went ahead and planted the seed. Although I've planted them a little late, my first batch was planted in late July or early August last year. Mother Nature is so forgiving and she helps you amid all the adversities. Despite all these odds, the seeds started sprouting and grew well in the first few weeks. After a month or so, the plant started to fight some bugs. Could be slugs, snails, caterpillars, earwigs. It could have been any of those insects, but the result is they started punching holes in the leaf like this. Your goal should be to prevent infestation to start with and not to fight it. As early as week 2 to 3, once the seedlings develop into saplings with a few leaves, spray organic pesticide thoroughly and ensure the whole sapling, the leaves, and the stem is covered. Doing this will ensure the plants are not attractive targets to the insects. The insects are repelled by the strong smell of the garlic organic pesticide. I shall leave a link and a screenshot of my earlier video on how to make this organic pesticide at home. Please use the organic pesticides to keep Mother Nature happy and forgiving the way she is and avoid poisoning our food chain. I've not had planter pots last year, so I recycled this baby spinach box, and in about 7 weeks, I could get my first harvest of the greens, or should I say purples in this case. I've used the leafy veggies to make dal, and I'll post a video on it sometime soon. The plants went on to produce a second harvest, and that is all I could get from them for the season in last year. Now, the question, when should you sow the seed for Malabar spinach? What is the right time and temperature range to sow the seed? Let's find out. Bachalikura or Malabar spinach is a tropical plant and thrives in hot conditions. So wait to plant these heat-loving plant until the temperatures are high enough, whenever that happens to be for your region. For Seattleites, I recommend to plant in late May or early June. Planting any sooner won't help as the seed won't sprout in the colder conditions. Ideal temperature range would be 65 to 85 degree Fahrenheit or 18 to 30 degrees Celsius. Sow the seeds half inch to a quarter inch deep and at least 6 inch apart from each other. To thrive as they grow, these plants prefer full sun. So pick a sunny spot in your garden to plant them so they get ample sunlight throughout the day. They can also grow in shady areas. However, with less sun, the leaf size increases, but the overall growth rate slows and also the leaf thins. I will share later in the video why the leaf thinning matters. One mistake I've made last year was to top off the Malabar spinach in expectation that it would grow bushy. That did not work well. So here I am sharing the right way to harvest Malabar spinach or Bachalikura so the plants can keep producing more leaf throughout the season. Harvest the leaf and not the stem, which will grow into vines. You at least want 6 to 8 leaf on the plant to allow it to grow. So at any time you see more than 8 leaves on the plant, you are good to start harvesting. Pick the leaf at the bottom of the plant, and as you do, make sure you're not pinching the suckers as they will also continue to produce new growth. Harvesting the Malabar spinach this way will help the stems to grow into a vine. Be sure to provide some support, either a trellis or some form, so the plant can grow into a long vine and keep producing leaf throughout the season. That is the first bounty of Malabar spinach or Bachalikura which I have harvested this year. Notice the leaves are small but thick. After that initial harvest, the plants went on to grow tall and produce multiple harvests in the last 2 months. In just 1 month, I've gotten 3 harvests, and each time the bounty size kept increasing. So, what is the magic? How are my plants able to grow so rapidly and produce such harvests? Well, there aren't any miracles involved in growing. Answer is very simple, natural, and scientific. Green leafy vegetables need nitrogen to keep growing, and I've provided the plants exactly that, a nitrogen rich organic fertilizer. Besides the fertilizer, as I said earlier, these plants were in full sun, and I've also given them ample water. That's all it required for the plants to keep growing. After every harvest of green leafy vegetable, I provide the plants with this organic fertilizer. I apply 1 teaspoon at the base of each plant after each harvest. With that, once every 2 weeks, I should be able to collect the harvest of the greens. While I use this fertilizer on all the plants in my garden, I specifically ensure to do so on green leafy veggies as this fertilizer is extremely impactful in increasing both their harvest quantity and frequency at which I can harvest. The plants continue to feast on the organic fertilizer, and I continue to collect the bounty and feast it on these greens. What do you all think about this garden bed? Who's who there? Does it really matter? Not to them, apparently. They all coexist in harmony and thrive like nothing else. I have totakura, bachalikura, eggplant, bell pepper, garlic, and a few other plants in this bed, and they're all thriving and growing into lush green plants. Just viewing this bed a few minutes a day is so satisfying and stress busting to me. This bed keeps giving me harvest after harvest every other week. That is probably the biggest leaf of Malabar spinach I have seen these plants produce so far. Notice that as these leaves grow larger, they thin. There is absolutely no problem if the leaf grows larger. You can still use it for all their edible purposes and relish them the same exact way, and the taste is absolutely phenomenal. However, when the leaf thins, you cannot use it for one of its medicinal purpose. Let's learn about it next. Basella alba is the scientific name of this plant and has many medicinal values. The most important, in my opinion, is its cooling effect when applied to burns or scalds. Malabar spinach leaves have a thick gel, like in the case of aloe vera, when the leaves are short and thick. And that gel is very efficient if used as a first aid for burns. Their stems have more gel in case your plant do not have thick leaves, so do not hesitate to sacrifice a few plants when you need to use them for the first aid. Besides being helpful as first aid to burns, the gel from these leaves are soothing when used as a face pack and help as a natural laxative and is packed with anti-inflammatory properties. I shall leave a link in the description to a detailed report published by the Oxford College of Science on all the medicinal benefits of this plant and its use in different parts of the world. How beautiful are these flowers? They look so pretty to me. As a kid, I remember having Bachalikura wine at my home, which was huge, like 30-foot long huge. My fondest memory, though, was dark purple fruit that the wine produced, which I've used to dye the thread for flying kites. So it turns out these pretty flowers might actually grow into those fruit in my garden now. So at the very least, I'm looking forward to those fruit so I could dye the thread again. Why? Well, for one, I'm still flying kites here in the States. Besides, just to relive my childhood with my kids. Then I shall also preserve these fruits so for the next season I do not have to buy seed from Amazon. Sorry, Amazon. Lastly, one thought which always lingered in my mind is, are those fruits edible? I have no idea, so I'll need to learn more about it before I eat. And if they are indeed edible, I'll give it a shot and let you all know in my future video how I like them. Stay tuned to Nandanavanam and please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon so you do not miss notifications of future interesting episodes. I'll shortly post a video on how to make the organic fertilizer at home, one which will help your greens grow well and produce harvest week after week. Thanks for being with me today. Hope this episode was informative and helpful. If you all like this video, please smash the thumbs up button. By doing that, YouTube will recommend my videos to more viewers. That will be your contribution to help me grow my channel, and I shall be deeply appreciative of that help. Do not forget to leave your comments and let me know how it turned out for you. Happy gardening. This is Pavan signing off until the next video. You all have fun growing and spending time in your garden.